Anyways, take a look at that, guys. But we're gonna continue on here. We don't have that much time, so we got to go through these cards a little bit quicker than we did the first half.
Okay, the lightning round.
Yeah, the lightning round. Here we go. Mage. Got a lot of freezing things. Starting off the freezing potion, 0 mana, freeze an enemy spell. What do you guys think? Maybe makes Shatter better?
Well, it makes Cabal Chemist worse.
Yeah, that's
Or
true. Any
better.
potion, right?
Well,
Trying to find a potion.
If you
type
need
of-
it in a jiffy, you need an answer to something. Just like freeze a 7/7.
Value-wise, good enough. Can you see playing a freeze potion in your deck?
I guess
instead
I'm
of-
playing
Tempo
one,
Mage,
maybe.
but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it like being enough. You know, like when you
I
can
mean,
have
it's
something like a Frost Nova or
It's one of those cards that's gonna be cool when you discover it at the right time. I don't think it's one that you're gonna
Yeah.
really put in your deck all that often.
yeah,
There's a lot of cards like that. That's why I like Discover with spells, because some of those lousy spells are just the right one for the moment.
Yeah, true. Okay, next up, Cryomancer, 5 mana, 5/5 battle cry, gain +2/+2 if an enemy is frozen. So you can kind of combo it, I guess, with freezing potion common. What do you think, TJ?
I don't know. It doesn't really fit in any decks. Is the thing.
We're trying to get this
I can-
freeze thing going, right? So
Yeah,
maybe
but
if that gets there.
I guess like Frost Nova plus this, it's a 5 mana 7/7, which is, I mean, decent. You can just like chain freezes together, which is like the only way I could see it. I could see it being played in like a freeze / burnish deck, but it's like a little slow. If it was like a 3 mana 3/3 that gained +2/+2 if an enemy is frozen, then it would, I think, see a little bit more play because it'd be more flexible. You could play with Blizzard, for
Yeah.
instance.
I mean, you can play it now with Water Elemental on 4, right? You freeze the enemy face, and bam, you drop 7/7.
Yeah, but
It's just really inconsistent.
How often does it happen?
Yeah, that's the
That's
issue.
stats.
I mean, no. I guess
It's
that
all
that,
right.
that makes more
It's not
sense.
bad.
I
Yeah.
think it's more
Yeah.
consistent already.
I mean,
Yeah.
it will happen, but is
Yeah.
+2/+2 really all that exciting for the sporadic nature of
Okay.
its effect?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the question: do you play this over Azure Drake? Like you're playing Tempo Mage, you're trying to curve into Faceless Summoner on 6. You want to get just the biggest body you can every single turn that has potential synergy. You have Water Elemental on 4, Faceless Summoner on 6, and you have this on 5. Do you play Drake still, or do you stack it on top of this and you start your curve a bit later than, an aggro mage? Like, do you tempo earlier, later?
It's a
How does
totally
that work?
different deck, in my opinion.
Right, it is,
Yeah,
but that's my
so-
question: is like, do you ever?
I could see playing this
I-
over Azure Drake.
That's all I
Yeah.
want to know.
Yeah.
Is Azure Drake
Yep.
going to potentially get phased out of
Yeah.
many decks? Because
I don't think so,
Yeah.
but maybe it's
Yeah.
possible.
Okay. Well, let's go
I
more
prefer
lightning.
Azure Drake.
Let's go more lightning around here. All right. Greater Arcane Missile, good or bad? 7 mana, shoot 3 missiles, random enemies, deal 3 each. Epic.
Bad
Yeah.
but cool.
Bad but
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, bad
agree.
but cool's fair.
Bad but cool. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
like, I
I'm
can't
right
wait
there
for
with
the
you.
Trollden video, man. That's just
Bad but cool.
It's not even a great like token cleanup, simply because you'll end up wasting damage when it hits a 1/1.
Yeah,
it's,
it is. But if you can get it all to
there's
the
better
face,
stuff.
man, it's like it is pretty powerful. I mean, it's a lot of damage for sure. Okay, Hunter cards. So Hunter didn't get too much in this whole release, I feel like, out of all the classes. But we've got Hidden Cache, another secret. It's a rare card, 2 mana. After your opponent plays a minion, give a random minion in your hand +2/+2. Good or bad? I think it's terrible.
not
Bad.
good enough.
Yeah, it's like definitely not good enough. Especially compared to the
Cache?
other secrets. Yes.
I mean, I could see this in like a mid-range deck where you play Cloaked Huntress in a non-secret hunter deck and you try to buff the Kodo because it's still a really sick tempo play.
But of course,
Okay.
pretty much any secret's good when it's free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
sure,
point.
sure.
Like, you wouldn't play a secret hunter with this, but you might play a like mid-range deck that has secrets in it instead. But,
Yeah.
I mean, is it better than all the other alternatives?
All right, Smuggler's Crate, 1 mana. Give a random beast in your hand +2/+2. You got to play a more beasts than are being played right now. I don't like it. I mean, it's
No,
okay.
I don't think it's good enough.
I mean, it stat wise actually should be decent, but
With
you'd have to
Rat
play
Pack,
a lot.
I think this is busted with the Kodo and the Rat Pack.
Yeah,
I won't
what?
with Rat Pack.
that's true.
The 2/2,
actually.
like the Rager that buffs stuff in your hand, and the 3/3 that buffs stuff aren't beasts. Like, they can't even soak up that buff. So you're guaranteed to hit the pack or the Kodo if they're there. I think
Okay.
that's much better than you're giving them credit for.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
That's good. I mean, like 2/2 for
Well,
one.
you have to
is
think about
definitely
Rat
good.
Pack at all
Yeah.
times now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
Rat Pack is
everything.
a big deal. Holy crap.
Okay, Alley Cat. Alley Cat. 1 mana, 1/1 beast. Battlecry. Summon a 1/1 cat. Common.
Real good.
Yeah.
I
Real
like
good.
plays Fiery Bat
Dude,
to an extent.
I like
think.
Living
I mean,
Roots,
you're not
too.
gonna have both of them.
Living
It's
Roots
like
beast style.
It's like Possessed Villager, but
Yeah.
No.
it's got beast synergy.
Yeah,
It
I'm not a
is.
big. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. I like
You
Death
can
Rattle
attack
more than I
immediately.
like Upfront.
Well, I mean, it does like the same thing almost. Like
Yeah.
there's not too many situations where you'd opt that you'd want the death rattle as opposed to, except in situations where you're trying to play it on AOE. But like
Yeah.
like as a hunter, you're not really trying to play on AOE.
Yeah, you're
that
trying to-
often. You're just trying to hit him in
Just
the face.
Get 2. Exactly. On turn 1.
Get him. 2 cats.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to what's next. Here we go. Warrior. Warrior's got 3 here. It's Sleep with the Fishes, which is a picture of Murloc, but there's no Murloc affiliation to it. 2 mana, epic, deal 3 damage to all damaged minions.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
I like
Good
that
or bad?
a lot, personally. I think it's good.
I think in a control warrior you can
Fine,
make it work.
I think.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
It's
there's
not
a lot of ways to do
amazing,
1
but-
damage to damage things.
yeah.
Is it good enough to make those kind of warrior decks? I'm not sure.
I think it could be. I mean, it's really good in combination with like Ravaging Ghoul.
Yeah, it makes for full board
It's
clears.
sort of like a Flame Strike for 5 mana that costs 2 cards that leaves you with a 3/3 sort of thing.
yeah.
So I think it could see play, and it definitely could be in like those crazy removal warrior decks that all they're trying to do is stall out.
Exactly.
And then it's one of those cards that, hey, you're happy at least for the next 4 months, turning into a legendary later on in the game with
Right.
Elise
Right.
in those removal decks. So I like it. I think it's pretty cool. If
Yeah,
only
how-
there was some Murloc attached to it, because it's got a Murloc on it.
I know
It was like,
exactly, right? There's like nothing.
turns all
No, it's-
damages
the
into
Murloc-
Murloc.
the Murloc
and then
is
deals 3
chained,
damage to
dude.
them.
He's chained and falling in the depth of the ocean. He's dying there, dude. He's
Oh.
just gonna choke to death for the rest of his life.
It's just gonna choke. Okay.
He'll starve to death. I mean,
pretty
can't
sad
Murlocs breathe
story.
underwater?
Yeah,
but I think-
exactly.
Humanoids and they have to go back up occasionally, unless they don't.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Are they
Alright.
fish or amphibians?
Guys, we're gonna go on forever for this Murloc. All right, 2 mana, Hobart Grapple Hammer, legendary 2/2,
Good.
Battlecry, give all weapons in the hand and deck +1 attack.
Aggro
solid.
Warrior is
That's
the new
good,
cancer.
man. Exactly.
Aggro
Face
Warrior.
Warrior, baby. Face weapons
No,
warrior.
it's a good card because I mean they've instituted other cards like the Pawnbroker that encourage you to play more weapons, and this goes right along with it.
Yep.
Hand
Naga
and
too. There's that
deck.
Naga too. Yep.
And 2/2/2 is not that bad. I mean, if it was a
Still a minion. Yeah.
yeah, it's not like it's a 2 or like a 4/1/1 or something stupid.
Meh.
Nah.
Rather armor up.
Oh my god. All right, Public Defender. 2 mana, 0/7 taunt. What's up with these 0/7s, man?
That's good.
Comment. Yeah. What'd you guys think about this one? He's a
It
Public
actually
Defender.
saves you that 7 health.
Yeah, it does.
Unlike the one earlier where you're encouraged to remove it, but doesn't necessarily.
They don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is
Good.
fine.
It's a bolster card, everybody. No.
It's,
No.
Bolster deck is not happening.
I know. Bolster deck is not happening.
Amazing. This card's amazing.
God. All right.
It's like 2 mana heal 7.
I like how we have a whole bunch of lawyer.
I
cards.
know.
We have the
I
Public
like it.
Defender. We
Whoops.
have the Paladin one.
Exactly. Oops.
Make
Okay.
the lawyer tribe.
All right, here we go. Naga Corsair. So another weapons card. It's a pirate too, but this is its non-class card. 4 mana, 5/4. Battlecry. Give your weapon +1 attack. So you have to have it armed, and unlike the other one. We saw this one in the playthrough. It's okay. I mean, 5/4 body pirate, right? It's a pirate
Fine
deck.
in arena. It's not gonna be good enough to make the constructed decks. I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Unless there's critical mass, I don't see it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Rathian. 6 mana, legendary, 4/5. Taunt. Battlecry. Draw cards until you draw one that isn't a dragon. Custom made for a dragon deck.
It's a fine card because in the worst case scenario, it's still a 4/5 taunt. Draw 1 card.
Exactly.
So it's like at the worst, it's 4.5 mana, 4/5 with taunt.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Which I think it's fair. It's fair value right off the bat, I think.
This card's a new curator. You play curator deck. This is your 6-drop. Curator's your 7-drop, and you just keep going to town. This is good
And
stuff.
it's targeted for the dragon. It isn't that weird draw one of each of these things.
Yeah.
But it's still like draw. It's like read as 6 mana 4/5 draw one card, like always one card and possibly more. Like that's what's really good about it.
Exactly. And the draw one card already I think is fair. So it's pretty close. No, maybe it's still undervalued on just a little undervalued, but the taunt gives it a little bit more. So yeah, it's
I like the
right
taunt
at 6.
because if you're doing this, you're playing kind of a slow strategy.
Yeah.
And having that taunt, it adds a little bit to the card.
Okay.
The curator.
I'll play
definitely curator. Okay, definitely in a dragon deck here. Okay, next up, Genzo, legendary, the Shark. 4 mana, 5/4. Whenever it attacks, both players draw until they have 3 cards. So Jeeves 2.0, I just in my eyes, and it's got actually a threat too to it, with being 5.
I've gone back and
TJ?
forth on this.
Yeah.
I think you need a very specific deck to make this work.
Oh, of course, you got to be spending your cards.
Yeah,
fast.
you really have to go all in on that strategy. You didn't really see a ton of Jeeves outside of very, very, very specific.
Mech decks.
I don't think it's going to happen, but it might. I could be wrong on this one.
Yeah, TJ, what do you think?
I don't know. It's just sort of I think it's like a better statted Jeeves, but I still don't think that it'll see too much play. Because even Jeeves was fringe in very fast decks.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think fast decks, I don't know if they're going to be rewarded nowadays, just given how big of a swing mid game a lot of these decks will be. Noxious?
Yeah, I think again this is like strictly for the fast decks, and even then, not every single one of them will play it. Like it's just.
Yeah.
I think if like I have a question about it though for fatigue, right? Like the opponent has like 1 card, 2 cards in hand. You play this, you attack. What the fuck? Do they die?
Yeah, I think so. But actually, so
Okay,
no. I
pretty
mean, so hey, it's
Does Jeeves kill you? Does Jeeves kill you?
Jeeves kill you?
If you have 2 cards in hand and you play Jeeves, do you die?
Oh. If you have 2 cards in your hand and you play Jeeves.
And no cards in the deck.
Oh, no cards
you
in the
die.
deck. Oh yeah. I think you do. Yeah, you do. You do
Okay,
draw.
so this will
You do
kill your
draw.
opponent if they have no cards and like.
Yeah.
you're-
Yeah, I can't remember playing G's in that situation, but
Yeah.
That's fine.
You do draw though.
I think
That's
I
pretty
think
fun.
Yeah.
you would.
So, anyways, TJ's got to go, guys. So, he's got the, I think the Hearthstone Academy next, which he's going to be doing.
Skype Academy. Yep.
Skype Academy, yeah. Skype. So it's going to be a kind of cool thing that he's doing, where there's going to be 2 players coaching and coaching random people, I think, and having them go against each other. So, thanks TJ for popping on. You know, like as
Thanks,
long
guys.
as we've had you. So, yeah. Any quick shout outs you want to do before you take off?
No, thanks for having me on the show. I really appreciate it a lot. Like talking about new cards. It's always fun. Thanks very much for that. Also, after Value Town, don't leave now. After Value Town, you guys can look at my Twitter later and check it out. But the thing that I'm doing, it's pretty cool. But thanks, ChanMan. I really appreciate what you do for the community, man. Nobody ever gives ChanMan a shout out, but
I
ChanMan
appreciate
deserves
that,
a
man.
lot of credit. All right,
I
see you
appreciate
guys.
it. All right, see ya, buddy.
Peace, man.
All right.
Well, that was nice.
Yeah, that was definitely nice. I'm gonna have to fix the cams for a second here, guys. But I guess we can keep talking while I do that. You can't see us though, but we can keep talking.
We saw the next card though.
Yeah, we did see the next card. We can look at the next
What
card.
one was
It's
that?
right here.
Sergeant Sally's next.
Yeah, Sergeant
Okay.
Sally. Right, you can see it real quick while I'm changing this. Sergeant Sally is a 3 mana 1/1 legendary death rattle. Deal damage equal to this minion's attack to all enemy minions. Okay, yeah. So
Sure.
what do you think about this? This is
What I
like
like
a
about
pretty good card removal. Or board
What I like
removal,
about the
think.
card is it's not just one of those cards where the stats before it count. You can buff it with abusive before doing a
Right.
board clear. You can use power overwhelming and make a crazy, almost like a shadow flame. A lot of things you can do with it. It's one of those cards that's flexible, not like a 2 of or anything. Well, it's a legendary, so you're not going to have a 2 of, but I think it's pretty cool.
I think this card is just like the Powerful Enemy is the first thing that pops to mind. And there's Inner Rage, which also kind of works. If you played with Inner Rage, then you can also use maybe like Whirlwind and Sleep with the Fishes in the same deck to get like massive AoE potential. Like the more like very high damage AoE you get in the deck on top of Brawl, for instance, the more likely you are to just beat Zoo to the ground. If you play Whirlwind already in your deck and you play Sleep with the Fishes, I mean, Zoo's dead. Like, whatever it is, or even Shaman's dead. Like, what the hell are they supposed to stick when you just go Whirlwind, Sleep with the Fishes, or even Sergeant Sally Inner Rage. Like that's a 3-mana combo that kills Feral Spirits, almost kills Totem Golem, and kills Dental Trog. If you haven't even played Fiery War Axe, I mean, this is just kind of a wet dream. I don't know if it's going to see play with Inner Rage, but like it's definitely a good way to stall against Shaman without having to worry too much about lacking removal. So it's just a lot of conditional removal. I like the fact that this card is just playable though. I don't know. I feel like we need more cards like this where you have to meet a certain condition for it to be good. I think that's what Hearthstone needs more of.
Yeah, because there's a lot of ways to play with this card, which is what makes it neat.
Well, it's powerful too. I think it's really the power level. If we're gonna have like really powerful cards, we need the conditions to match that, or like the ability to reach that or not. And I think they've been doing a good job with it with this release. Let me bring up Sergeant. Where is it?
Lost forever.
There it is. All right, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah. So what kind of? Which classes do you think will utilize this the most? Like, just Reno, just basically.
Yeah, I think Warlock's just going to use the hell out of this just by default since it's running Power of Whelming.
Mm-hmm.
Really, any deck that's fishing for a little more removal and has the ability to buff this or whatever, I think I still don't know if it's good enough, but it's really cool, and I'm going to experiment it with a lot of decks, I think.
Yeah,
to try.
The first day, I think I'm gonna.
I played Bolvar longer than he had any right to be played. I like cards.
Oh God, you're that guy.
You're that guy.
I just like Wrath of the Lich King. What can I say?
You're that guy, the one that they're designing this game for. All
right, the reason the game's crap.
All right, next up we've got 2 cards. I think they're almost like the meme cards of the set here. We've got Mayor Nogginfogger, and we've got Weasel Tunneler. So
oh man,
let's start with Weasel Tunneler. He's like the mascot, I think, of this set. He's a 1-drop 1/1 beast. Death Rattle. Shuffle this minion into your opponent's deck, and it's an epic card. And when I looked at this card and I was reviewing this card, I could have sworn there was some kind of joke I was missing the entire time I was looking at this. But the more and more I looked at it, I'm like, no, I don't think there's any joke I'm missing from this, at least not yet. So he's a cute little guy, but...
there is a bit of a phallic reference here.
Yeah, okay. Didn't really think
it's just
that,
a weasel, right? Like the word play on weasel, where like you can call someone a weasel, and it's like you're a little sketchy dude that does sketchy things. And this guy's an actual weasel, so it's like, okay, good job, dude. Good job. It's like it's playing on that word. So the fact that you can dilute the value of the opponent's deck is really cool. Like I like that you can add cards they don't want to their deck.
Yeah.
Kind of like if you could force like a gang up on an opponent's minion, like Beneath the Crowns against Reno decks, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the dream. They play Reno, you go Beneath the Crowns and watch them die. It never happens, but it could. And Weasel Tunneler is one of those cards that you can just slap in a deck, and maybe it works. Maybe it does work.
Yeah, it's just like a very subtle way of making it a little bit harder for them, right?
And I like to think that maybe it's setting a little tone where Blizzard's kind of thawing on the concept of allowing you to mess up someone else's deck. Because
Mm-hmm.
And because they've been really hesitant about that. So I hope it's like the start of a trend. And you see, when they draw this, they don't get like a card like they do with the ambushes. It's not a good card right now, but if we have more, maybe deck debuff becomes a deck. Sometime.
Debuff?
Debuff.
Deck disruption, whatever. Like if you just stack terrible cards in the the Iron Juggernaut, right? Like that card was awesome. Iron Juggernaut was awesome.
Yeah, it was. I like
the thing is, it cycled itself, so it wasn't as awesome as it had to be because you dealt 10 damage and then they still replaced the card. But like if Ambush did not cycle itself, that card would be like really disruptive because they would just draw the card. That's their draw for the turn.
That's the turn.
Pass, and they play it. They get you get a 4/4 and they just do nothing. And this card this is it. Like they draw it and that's all they get this turn. They don't get an extra card from their deck while spawning you a Weasel Tunneler or whatever the case may be. It's just literally that. Now I think for this to be good enough to be played, it would have to read something like, when you draw it, you just summon it for your opponent, right? Like if the opponent draws it, or like it shuffles a Weasel summon in the opponent's deck, and when they draw that, well,
Yeah.
that's all they get, and they just summon you another Weasel Tunneler, so you can shuffle it back in.
I kind
What we
of
need is a
go ahead.
sorry. What we need is like a poison seeds that turns the whole board into Weasel Tunneler.
Oh my god, that would be
What if? Oh my
crazy.
god!
That would be awesome.
I want this to be the new
It's
Mad
infested.
Bomber.
The new
I want
Mad
this to be the
Bomber?
new Yeah, I want them to go like an even like another Weasel type thing that just shuffles itself in and does something else, right? Like instead of just being a 1/1
Yeah.
that dies and goes in the deck, like it's got another ability, and it's maybe a 2-mana 2/2 that has the same abilities, like Weasel, Infiltrator, and then they have like all these Weasels every single expansion that keep getting bigger and bigger.
Weasel
It's like the new
assassin.
Jade Golem.
Yeah, like
Can you imagine if Jade Golems were weasels? Oh my
Oh.
god, they missed such a great opportunity there. Could have been
They
the
could've
Weasel
made them
family,
just-
dude. The total Weasel family.
yeah. Anyway, this is like my new meme. This card is like the face on this guy is iconic now. Like
He's
to
so
me, this is just another troll card, and I love it.
He's so
Yeah,
cute.
you have
man.
the
Totally
emote
cute.
already. Where is it?
Yeah, totally.
I've already made the emote.
I you know what? I wish the Death Rattle, I was telling Dan earlier, I wish that the Death Rattle was give 2 copies. Then
I
you would
agree with
totally
you.
screw your opponent's Reno deck, something like that. That'd be
But I
pretty
mean, you can
awesome.
play Baron Riven there. You can gang it up to put more in your deck. Like the problem that I had with it initially is, and this is still my biggest gripe with the Weasel Tunneler, is that it doesn't send a Weasel Tunneler in their deck. It sends the literal card. So
Yeah.
you can't like Fang Death it in Hunter in Wild or Princess of Huron in a live build, and even like Unearthed Raptor, right? If you copy the Death Rattle, it sends the Raptor in. Like when it dies, it doesn't send like a Weasel Tunneler. And that's what
Oh,
sucks.
yeah.
That's like the fact that it's using the object of the card, the physical little weasel, kind of annoys me. But I
Yeah.
mean, it makes sense. It's the little weasel.
They
it
could
tells
easily
you.
change that text for whatever reason. that one's
Yeah, but I
just
mean, like,
purely-
it makes no sense that the Raptor would just go, all right, I'm summoning a weasel.
That's true.
Let me
yeah.
just pump out a weasel. Like, what?
Yeah, it says that shuffle a Weasel Tunneler into your opponent's deck.
Yeah, it would be cooler.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, well, let's talk about the other one, which I think is the new Yogg-Saron, but it's not good. Unlike Yogg-Saron was like crazy good. This is the
Well,
Mayor
Yogg-Saron
not.
is more fun.
Yeah,
As a fun card goes, it's not as fun. It's just random stuff.
yeah.
I mean, did anyone
yeah.
play Mogre the Ogre for fun? I was like, eh.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was
It's a card you have
50%.
sometime.
I mean, yeah. This
Sure.
one is like, there's no question. This is total meme fest here. Mayor Noggenfogger, it's legendary, 9 mana, 5/4. All targets are chosen randomly. So even if you want to kill this dude, you're gonna have a very hard chance of killing. I mean, best case, I guess if you have a weapon, you can't hit yourself. So best case is 50%. But your spells are like 33% chance of killing this guy when he's the only guy on the board, right? Baseline. So. I can just see guys just constantly trying to kill him, and they just cannot kill him, and it's just
I
a
can't wait
freaking
for the
crazy
meme
game.
fiesta of like a Confessor Peltris and a Reno Priest, and brings this out in a competitive environment, and people are like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Freaking
this
Burn
is-
Mage just keeps freaking hitting
Yeah, like
himself
it
in
doesn't
the
know what's
face.
happening. It happens to like it's just trying to ping something. It's like ping myself. Wait, what? Fuck, I'm dead. Just like everything is random. If you attack with a minion, it's random as well. The only problem is the only issue with this card is that it still checks for legality, right? It's not gonna go like, oh, I'm gonna swing at my own minions with my guys. Like it never
Yeah.
has
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
misdirection
Still-
potential.
Right.
Which that's what bogs me. Like that's what bugs me. That is because I wish this guy had at least like with this ability, the way that it's designed, had a much higher stat line. Like make it a Nozdormu type guy with like 9 mana 8/8. Nobody plays him because he's still shit, but it's fun. At least a 6/6. Do something.
Yeah, it's hard at 5/4 to. I mean,
Yeah.
it exists. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. If it lasted even longer than if you made this thing a 6/6, it would never die. Like,
I mean, I've thought about, remember like the first day that I came onto the show with the new expansion, we talked about Aviana, Kun, whatever his name
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
and then you play like a bunch of Cthulhu stuff and you kill
crazy
people.
combo. Sure.
You could just go like Aviana Kun this dude and let them deal with this crap. Like I just heal on my board. And if they don't have like a Fellfire Potion on Dragon Fire Pot at that point in the game, you kind of win. But it's super, super bad in general.
People were wait. So if you play Kraken,
Mm-hmm.
that target, that initial target is random, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It is.
So you'd have to almost play Rag to like just try to remove this bastard. Otherwise, it's...
Flame Strike, Fellfire Potion.
Yeah,
Dragon-
actually, yeah. Well,
It's too
Flame
much
Strike is a
AoE.
good one. Yeah, Flame Strike's a good one.
There's
Potion's
too much
a good one.
AoE in the game, I think.
Using it just to kill this
Yeah,
guy.
it's
That would be
And
crazy.
it's just so expensive to invest.
Yeah.
Why, Blizzard? The worst part is Noggin Fogger is like the iconic representative of Gadgetzan and WoW. Like, and I'm talking iconic. He had a potion that turned into a skeleton, did all sorts of cool things, and like this is it. Like this is my Gadgetzan icon turned into a meme. It's just not even memey enough for me to meme with. Like it's missing some meme factor in stats to just make it remotely playable.
It'd be
In
fun
fun.
if it did illegal things, like things that targeted only a minion, targeted a hero somehow. But then,
Yeah.
of course, there's
Yeah.
some really weird potential to that. It starts crashing.
Yeah, exactly. You start opening up all these different, breaking all these rules and whatnot. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
Flame
crazy.
Lance goes to the face, and BattleNet is no longer responding to Windows.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it, actually, for all the cards. We got through them. We kind of had to go lightning around a little bit there, but tomorrow is the big release. It's going to be in the morning here. I think.
Yeah, I think it's pretty early.
Yeah,
I
in the
thought
Europe,
I had
it's actually in the
email with the
afternoon.
time, but I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
What time?
I think it's going to be
like
11
pretty early.
o'clock here. I think it's 2 o'clock Eastern in the European.
I thought I saw like 9:30 a.m. or something.
Yeah, so 9:30 on the West Coast probably, and then
Like 12:30, 1
yeah,
p.m. on East Coast.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, first Nax will be out, and then they'll release this.
Yes, of course. You have to release snacks every expansion. If you don't release snacks every time, then Nax is not out.
So that's going to be exciting times. I have to actually wait until my daughter gets home because she opens all my packs. So I got to at least wait until...
God, that's nasty.
I know. I'm going to be sitting there just like watching you guys playing while I'm just like sitting there with my packs, just twiddling my thumbs like, God. Just building husks of decks that I'm hoping to
Last
add.
expansion, I got
spectate me.
3 boogie monsters before any other legendary.
I got 7, dude. Like, don't
Dude,
even...
I got 2. I got 2 repeats of Boogie Monster. It fucking sucked.
It was so
dude.
bad.
It definitely sucked. Okay, we actually got some email questions that we can cover. And those you got questions, go ahead and email those to valuetown@chanmanv.tv, and we'll try to get to those as quickly as we can. But we have some from last week as well as some new ones. This one's from Adam C. It says, love your podcast. I'm one of the audio listeners, so great that we're getting a chance to include him now with these emails. I'm curious if with the new Priest cards coming out in Mean Streets, if you think that Confused Priest will be a thing. Priest Standard loved all the fun things you could do with the Shrinkmaster and pint-size potion is far more powerful than that. Do you think that is enough to push that archetype? Then we
Not
talked
with the
about it a little bit.
Confuse.
Yeah. I
You
don't...
have so much
Yeah, go ahead.
so much better things to do with it.
With pint size, I mean, I think pint size is just playable in like with or without Shadow Word Horror, with or without like a minion based deck. I think pint size is just a generally good card. If you consider what Priest tries to do, even if you play a minion based deck, it's easy trades, right? Like you look at it that way, it's like, oh, I can use my minions, kill yours, and move on. Confuse is just an added perk that you might consider running a one of in like a deck that includes double Injured Blade Master, double Dark Arakoa, double Fellow Soul Fiend, some one drops like Arcane Anomaly and Young Priestess that you expect to have buffed up. It's unlikely to happen, but if it's a deck, then maybe Confuse fits there because you can get a pseudo Bloodlust at times.
Yeah, I think Confuse and the pint-sized potion, it's all going to be used more for defensive purposes, you know, removal, or I mean, if Shaman continues to be super good, even the current version of Shaman, Confuse is just good for removing totems, you know, like, or you know, it's just as long as they don't get buffed by Thunderblood.
But the thing is, the pint-sized potion, it doesn't have a lot of moving parts. Everything in the enemies gets weaker.
Yeah.
Confused when you're flipping it, then you kind of need certain board states and.
Yeah, that's what makes it
pint
interesting.
size-
That's why I like the
pint
card
size-
so much. Confuse
Oh, it's a
card.
cool
Yeah.
card,
Yeah.
but it's just if we're talking actual playing, I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, with pint size, you can play it.
Yeah, with pint size, you can almost remove
You
everything.
kill things.
Yeah,
you
can
kill
almost.
a shaman board completely. It's gone. Like
Yeah.
everything's 0. Rip.
So yeah, I think it does, you know, it does make Confuse much more viable, which before it was not, like pretty much only for even you're just playing around trying to make some aggro. I think you made a Murloc deck, right? That had Confuse. That was that was decent at one point. I don't know how you got with it, but it was decent. So yeah, I mean, I think if you it could be considered, maybe even probably not in Reno. I don't think I would use that in Reno deck. Okay, next up we've got a question from Keenan M. Let's see. Hey, Chanman and guest, I'm wondering what you need to see in order to say that Mean Streets of Gadgetzan is successful. Something like a certain number of playable cards or new archetypes? Or does a dethroning of the current top meta decks make it good? Well, definitely the first thing. There has to be new archetypes or new deck designs just altogether. Dethroning the top decks, I mean, that's just going to naturally happen. That would be part of being successful, is changing the meta enough that the top decks are just not that good or good at period anymore. But so yeah, basically both of those things. I don't know if we're going to see that many new archetypes, but we'll definitely see mid-range shaman coming down a little bit.
You just want to see strong decks have counters that are a little more dependable.
Yeah.
That aren't just terrible at everything else.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, I feel like, to me, a successful expansion would not take too much. Like, as long as they give me, I just want to see the curve slow down. Like, one of the things that I see a lot of people bitch about is, oh, curve stone sucks. We play on curve. You know what card games do? You play on curve. That's what every card game's about. The problem with Hearthstone is I don't have. You remember when we talked about Wrath of Gods and Magic? 4 mana, kill all minions, kill everything, right?
Yeah.
4 mana Twisting Nether. You said that's really too good. And the reason it's necessary in a card game is if you hit the curve on 1, 2, and 3, and there is no mechanic to stop you, the game is shit. It's literally bad because all you do is play 3 turns, escape, concede. Play 3 turns, escape, concede, because the rest of the game almost doesn't matter. And in this expansion, I feel like the Grimy Goons deck, the Jade Golem deck, the 3 mana 5/5s that require 5 attack minion to be enabled, a rogue minion that becomes a 9/9 if it has you have a big weapon. Those are pretty sick curve plays if they're enabled. I mean, we're talking about a 6 mana 9/9. You can't argue that that's a sick curve play. The thing is, there's a little bit more nuance to it, and it's slower than 1, 2, 3, 4. Like curving 1, 2, 3, 4 is the bane of just every card game if there's no Fellfire Potion or Dragonfire Potion in the game. It's just bad.
Well, that was the biggest. I mean, that was been the biggest problem with Hearthstone recently, is because classes like Shaman, classes like Paladin, they just gave too much power in those turns to specific classes. It wasn't equal across the board, and that's why we saw certain classes oppress the meta, or at least we just saw it dominate in the meta. What's cool about the cards that we see right now with the Grimy Goons, and even with Jade Golem, even like I've been saying that I think Jade Golem's gonna be so good, and even with the Druid and whatnot, is that you have to choose. Like you have to choose what you want to do with your early turns, and that includes building decks too. You either build decks where you're investing for the future, and that's probably been the most viable than it's ever been. Like if there was ever, in terms of minions, right? Every time they came out with a Mistcaller or something like that, it was always just not even close to being viable. So this is the first time.
You have to have counterplay. You have to have counterplay simply. You don't want just so many situations, as Noxious said, where it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're just dead. Like Undertaker Hunter. Oh, it's just over.
Well, there's no choice either. You just play those cards. Like when people build a deck, it's like, oh no, of course I'm playing Spirit Glass. Of course I'm playing Atonement Trunk. Of course I'm playing Totem Golem. And there's not even a decision to be made when they're just outright the best cards. So I think it's nice that these cards, it's debatable now as to what you should do. Like
you should do, yeah.
Yeah, Jade Idol, do I play that 1/1 or do I just draw 3 instead? And it's that type of thing. If I make that decision, if I draw 3, then I'm not investing for.
What's the matchup, right? Like, do I need a 1/1 now? Like, is this going to be a control warrior where I just let's make more Jade Idols and start making Jade Golems later? There's no rush, and I can take my time.
Yeah, which is nice.
So, yeah.
Okay, next up we've got let's see, Ahmed N. And it's titled Beneath the Ground, Countering the Cabal. All right, longtime viewer from the lands of the Ancient Watchers. Can you see Beneath the Grounds as a good counter to the Cabal faction, as it might mess up their game plan? I know it's a bad card, but we see the Jade faction, their power is a bit in the control area, so I think it's a good addition to the Jade Rogue deck to completely counter Cabal control decks if this becomes a thing. And I think he's referencing mostly because the Cabal classes have the Reno, the singleton type of qualifiers for certain cards, right? And if you have a Beneath the Grounds, then obviously you have three of the Nerubians in your deck, and you won't qualify for Reno or for things like Raza and what are some of the other ones that actually have prerequisites for?
Well,
there's the new Cruel, the Unchained, but it's
Cruel,
a demon-based card,
Cruel,
and you have the Ilya, the Inscriber in Mage.
Yeah,
spells.
Yeah. So that definitely throws a wrench in some of those legendary cards that are pretty powerful. But what do you guys think? Beneath the Grounds?
No, it's still not good enough. You're still not going to face enough Reno decks to make that card good.
God, that's the dream, man.
I love if that card was useful. I mean, I'd love if that was...
It's such a cool card still, conceptually. It's just, we can't make it work. There's never a deck that works out. It's
Well, remember Firebat had that Spider Rogue deck, which was fun just to screw around with, that had all those different...
I don't even remember that.
You remember Spider Rogue? It was very brief. You had, Beneath the Grounds and
why was it called Spider?
Because he had all sorts of spiders. He had Haunted Creepers, and he had
spider-ish. They're
I see.
Right? So
it was a theme deck. It wasn't good, but
okay. Yeah, so I probably not good enough, but damn, I wish it was good enough to be played. And if there could be more Reno-like decks too powerful, then that would be a good reason to do it. Let's see. Next up, we've got Kakber K. He asks, after seeing new rogue cards, do you guys think that the rogue state as a class is terrible as people on Reddit claim? Does rogue really need good board clears and healing cards? He actually sent a bunch of Mekkatorque, so we're gonna have to get to these next week. So you guys think that rogue is in as bad shape as what a lot of people on Reddit are saying?
no, not even close. Not even close. I think Rogue is going to be perfectly fine, and I think it might be tier 1. And if Hunter, I think Miracle Rogue is going to be tier 1, and the only thing that's going to push it out is Aggro Shaman or Hunter. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think it's fine. I don't think it's going to be oppressive in any way, but I think there's some interesting things that you can do there.
I think my comment about it is I think Rogue will be viable just because Miracles, there's always a place for Miracle, or any way of just, again, drawing through your deck, and whether it's OTK or, and maybe even control in some elements, Rogue will always have that. My only complaint about the whole Rogue class is that it's so heavily based on one card right now, which is Auctioneer. And Auctioneer is not even a Rogue specific card. And so if Auctioneer, for whatever reason, ended up becoming broken and for another class or whatnot, and if Auctioneer ever just changed, I think Rogue would be trash actually right now. And because of that, I don't actually see the inner workings of what the Rogue should be outside of a combo, Miracle OTK type of finish. And that's the only thing that concerns me about Rogue. I wish I had a clearer picture, a very strong foundation of stuff that you could develop another solid Rogue archetype off of right now. It's still relying that Miracles always is keeping Rogue viable. And that's a little scary. And Miracle's been viable forever, guys. When is that going to ever change? That and Freeze Mage. Those are the two things that have been in forever.
I think Miracle Rogue is, there are ways to build Rogue that might be more tempo-centric. If you look at the way... And the only reason I say Rogue, by the way, is tier 1, and I want to go back to that, is just because, again, if the metagame slows down at all, right? If we get Jade Golems and Grimy Goons, guys, they just wait a little bit before they start. They don't go 1, 2, 3, 4. They go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then they start the recurving big. That's when you have time to get your combo off. The Miracle Rogue deck, I think, is going to be fine. It's not going to be touched. I think Blizzard doesn't mind it. What they do try to do right now, and we noticed, is all the pirates. They want to give you a tempo Rogue deck that has pirates. Yeah. And the pirates have big stats. A 3-mana 5/4 is a big deal if it lives. It's actually a pretty big deal. The only thing missing for Rogue would be a really good pirate legendary that kind of puts everything together. That isn't Patches. Patches is great, but it's more of an aggro warrior type card where like once it's dead, the problem with patches is that once it's dead, it's not coming back. So it's like a one-time ping in aggro rogue or in tempo rogue. In aggro warrior, it's like, okay, I go turn 1 small time buccaneer. It's a 1 mana 1/2 that has +2 attack while you have a weapon.
Yeah.
Coin Azat's first mate, and then I have a 1/3 weapon. I have a 1/1. I have the patches, and I have a 3/2. Aggro warrior will destroy you like almost across the board if you're rogue.
Yeah.
And rogue doesn't have that. They have to be more fair and more paced with their gameplay. And I don't think tempo is like. Do you really beat other tempo decks as rogue?
That's the problem.
Without like a 0-cost sap, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's a relative thing, and I think they are putting some workings in for a pirate deck. And we talked about, just the 9/9 guy, right? Just that it mimics what we see from Dragon Warrior back, months ago. But is it better than a Dragon? It's not going to be better than it's not going to be even the best rogue deck. I mean, people will still play Miracle over this deck. And then secondly, it's just not better than all the tempo decks that we've talked about. So it is something, at least, of some kind of theme that they're shooting for. It just doesn't have the power level that's necessary for meta to change, much less the rogue meta. The rogue meta will still sit on combo, like just drawing, because it's so powerful. There's a reason for that.
And the reasons for the power aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, and it's just like,
if only patches had charge. So much better.
Maybe the stealth is their way of doing it, but it's just scary because they have so much ability just to push face from stealth instead of trying to gain tempo from stealth. So it's tempo and faces. A lot of times it's the one and the same, but just getting board control from stealth. So I can see how they're trying to maybe, like massage that or whatnot, using that kind of mechanic, but it's going to be difficult for them to, I think, pull that off completely unless there's some very interesting text that they're going to be adding for stealth minions. So yeah, I think it's the one class that's still a little bit, that has a lot of question marks. Where the other classes, I think right? Like, are there any other classes that you'd say has question marks as to what it is?
It's identity?
Yeah,
well, Druid, I think, needs the Jade to work out.
I think Druid needs. Druid doesn't have an identity. No, it
beasts.
doesn't. I think what it needs is Treants or something along those lines.
That would be cool. The Treants.
It needs like a flood archetype that is specific to it. Warlocks have like demons that vary in size. Beasts aren't like, they're just like a mass of stuff, right? Like they're synergistic with one another. You give them beast cards and they work together, but there's no real like cohesion to it that makes sense in Druid the way that it does in Hunter. Like you don't get a Fiery Bat in Druid, you get Ancient Raven. So you're playing like a slower deck and you're trying to be a beatdown deck that cures very, very low to open with. The problem is you don't transition well. You don't transition well at all. Your hero power doesn't scale well like Hunters do. Like Hunter's hero power scales magnificently. Like your late game, the guy has 20 health, you pop hero power, that's 10% of his health pool.
True.
It's like 5%. It's like it just really.
It's not okay. It's not. I agree. It's not like as synergistic as, say, like a warrior hero power and a hunter hero power.
Right.
But there are enough cards though in Druid that people can build strong beast decks right now, and at least that's there. You know what I mean? Like with a rogue.
No, it's there. It's just not really part of their identity.
I think ramp is their identity. That's what Druid is basically ramp. That's like the biggest theme that's been pushed the most consistently across the board, and is the one that resonates with people. They understand Druid for ramp. Innervate, Wild Growth, Jade Blossom was given.
It's greed, baby.
Ramp.
Yeah,
it's meant to be that more so than I think like Beast aggro. I'm not a big fan of that identity given to Druid, but.
No, but anyways, to answer your question, does it need better board clears and heal cards? It would give it more options. Rogue right now without heals, there are some common heals you could use, but they're not great, in most Rogue decks. Board clear, you can make an argument that they should have board clear. I don't know what it is. Like, is Blade Flurry back to what it was? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? I still think it's too strong. The minions have gotten
never
stronger.
Get away from that kind of archetype. If they brought Blade Flurry back, because it's so good.
Well, Blade Flurry was part of a combo, like a 2-turn combo archetype before, right? With the oil and everything. I mean, you don't bring oil back, that's for sure. But Blade Flurry by itself, like, what's it gonna do? It's gonna do.
I mean, if it
3
hits
damage.
face, I mind it. If it hits face, I'm not okay with it. If
Mm.
if it hits only minions, like now, I'm
Yeah,
okay with it.
I
In
think
the
that's
current
okay.
environment, when Volcanic Potion is a thing,
Yeah.
when Dragon Fire Potion is a thing, when Fell Fire Potion is a thing, like I'm fine with Blade Flurry as it was, as long as it doesn't hit their face.
Yeah, I agree
like
with
you
that.
can give them like a 3 damage deadly poison for all I care. I mean, when you're printing Sergeant Sally with PO, you already have Shadow Flame existing, Warlock. I'm like, Rogue's Weapon. The only problem with Blade Flurry is that Rogue's Weapon is always there, and the thing is, yeah, well, so what? Dragon Fire is always good. Hellfire is always good. Storm's always good. Maelstrom Portal is always good. I've not seen anybody at Blizzard deleting those cards from the game.
Yeah.
So I think Blade Flurry is fine as long as it doesn't deal phase damage.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of cards, like since they nerfed Blade Flurry, the card power has gone up. You know, like Blade Flurry, even how it was before, minus oil. I mean, oil still it'd still be good even today, doing as much damage as it did to the face and then wiping the board and hitting you in the face again. Yeah, that would still be strong. But without oil, even hitting the face, I still don't think would be just outlandishly strong. But definitely without hitting a face, it would be right on par, I think, with some of the other cards we're seeing. Okay, last question here, guys. 3232 Muffin asks, are there any meme decks or crazy combos you guys are looking forward to trying once the set rolls out? What is the crazy deck that we're looking forward to trying?
First, I want to try, the decks that they enable before you really start going into the weird decks.
Okay, so you want to try out Jade Golem and
Jade
Grimy
Golem,
Goon.
basically.
Yeah, you want to try those first, I think.
Okay.
What am I gonna try out very, very first? We gotta be hipster. I know me and Noxious are generally hipsters, so we probably won't be playing those cards right off the bat. We'll play them after people stop playing them. But I want to try out a lot of the shaman cards.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's decent.
they're kind of interesting. Like maybe try like a control shaman right off the bat. Crazy combo. Is there really a crazy combo?
I mean, my crazy combo, is Blubber Baron with Doppelgangster. Like that combo.
Oh, Doppelgangster, yes, dude.
Like
try
Doppelgangster,
that.
whatever I play it in, because this is a neutral card. Blubber Baron's a neutral card, so that's a big deal. And I just want to find a way to buff the Doppelgangster, make it like a 5/5 or even a 4/4. Play it on curve, it's like a 12/12 versus stats. And because it's summoned 3 Battlecry minions, it buffs Blubber Baron 3 times. That's what I want to see. Like, I just want to get a Blubber Baron Doppelgangster combo off sometime in the first day, and I'll be moving on from that.
It takes forever. The Blubber Baron takes like 3 buffs for it to even be worth 3
No,
mana.
Doppelgangster is a single card, 3 buffs. It summons 3 Battlecries.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't play this for like the pure,
I know.
like Grime Street
That's
Outfitter
great.
makes
Alright.
it +2/+2, but mostly Doppelgangster as well.
Doppelgangster is pretty awesome. They even, I mean, Doppelgangster was even amazing on the stream that they had. It was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna play the hell out of that card.
Yeah. Any combo you can think of, Dan, that you would play?
I am going to play a lot of Doppelgangster because it's a cool card. It doesn't really need that much of a buff to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it kind of looks like Castro.
Yeah. Rip Castro. But yeah, other than that, I can't really think of. I don't think there's a priest combo. Oh, what are we talking about? We're totally doing good. Kun or whatever. Good,
yeah, the
Kun
Kun
combo.
stuff.
Dude, come on, dude. You came up with the combo. You gotta try that combo. We gotta be
that
trying.
is raw jank though. Like we're talking like the unwinnable with combos. What do you want to play? Like that's okay. Maybe Pilfered Power. Is there a way to make like Living Roots Pilfered Power work where you get like 1 mana per unit you have on the board? Piranha Launcher. Fuck it. I'm playing Piranha Launcher Hunter on day 1, and I spawn my little 1/1 piranhas, and to hell with life.
Piranha launchers? Oh my gosh. I forgot about that card.
Okay, well, gentlemen, I actually have to go at 6 o'clock.
All right, guys. Well, we're about done anyway, so why don't we wrap up real quick? Dan, pleasure having you on for the first time, dude. It's always great. We always read the articles. Yeah. Any shout outs you want to do, or where can people find you, or your work and everything?
You can find me at ESPN.com. I write about baseball, Hearthstone, some Overwatch. I rant on Twitter about things and stuff.
Awesome. Baseball and Hearthstone, man.
Yeah,
future.
so that It confuses baseball people and Hearthstone people, so it works out.
Exactly. Awesome. Yeah, definitely check those out, guys. And then
See you guys.
Noxious, shout outs.
Shout out to you for putting the show together again. Thanks to you for coming on, Dan. And before I forget, shout out to the devs for what looks to be an amazing expansion. And I mean this, like this time around, we have the full card reveal, and I'm not salty about anything. I'm just like, you know what? I want to play those cards.
Dude,
I'm fine with
if
all of them.
you've pacified Noxious, man, you've done a good job. You've definitely done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be pissed by something in a week, but for now, I have nothing to bitch about. Like, I can see some broken, degenerate things, but
Yeah.
I'm like, at least it's a fair card game. I'm getting like fair and square beat by card mechanics that don't look like Yogs are on.
Yeah,
And that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Just feels good.
definitely. Yeah, I'm excited too. So yeah, thanks for doing the show with me today, buddy. And of course, thanks to TJ and Dan for of course being our guests on today, and all of you guys for watching too, and tons of folks sending in emails as well as the Mekkatorque. We will be getting to. Let's see, was it? It was Cacpers. It actually had a bunch of Mekkatorques. Maybe we should do Mekkatorque next week.
Sure, we can probably try that
yeah.
if I'm around and you're around for that day.
Exactly. And after we've played the game a little bit, maybe we can come up with some cards that we think would be cool too. And also, guys, we have actually episode 100 coming up soon too. So I'm trying to plan out something special for that. Hopefully, you guys will partake in that. It's been 100 episodes and shoot, a lot. I don't know how many years now. So it's definitely something worth celebrating. And again, like we've made that milestone, and everything looks great so far. And hopefully we can continue on in the coming weeks with just all the Patreon support that we have. But for those of you that missed the show, you'll see the VODs on youtube.com/ChanManV. Those that on iTunes, you'll find it early on tomorrow, whenever iTunes gets updated. So definitely be on the lookout for that. Valentine's actually on SoundCloud too, guys, if you didn't know that. So you can check that out on soundcloud.com/ChanManV. Just most of the shows are there too, because I know there's a lot of folks that listen to podcasts via SoundCloud too, and not on their iTunes. So yeah, you can check that out there. And that's going to be it, guys, for Value Town this week. So for TJ, who's doing the Academy thing right now, you can check that out. Dan and Noxious and myself, ChanManV, we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Later.